You already know what that is, you don't have to ask me. Alright, so welcome to a little bit of a different video where I just wanted to talk, to be honest with you. So I know this is a little bit late. I wanted to do this earlier, but there's been like a lot of storms and shit, so I don't know. Anyway, point is, I just want to talk about the FNAF 2 movie trailer, or teaser. I know it's only 40 seconds and I'm probably going to rehash some stuff that some people have already said, but I just want to vent ideas, okay? This is just gonna be kind of like an open discussion-esque video. You can, let me know in the comments what you guys think about what I'm saying, what you guys think is gonna happen in the movie, what you want to happen based on what you see, etc., etc. One of my bigger questions upon watching the trailer, which, by the way, if you want to see my reaction to it, you can click the little icon at the top right now. One of my biggest questions, though, after seeing the trailer is sort of the timeline of things, because one very interesting thing to me is that we see a couple different shots, but mainly at the end, of Toy Freddy in public, just walking around, which might not be that weird to people considering the animatronics seem to be wandering around. But like, as I pointed out in my reaction, you can see right now on screen, like there are so many people who are like straight up cosplaying Five Nights at Freddy's characters, or I guess just Fazbear Entertainment characters, right? Which is so interesting to me because like the first movie takes place in like what, 2000, something like that? And like, I know people dress up, right? People dress up, but like, I feel like cosplay wasn't that popular unless it's like maybe Halloween or something. Like, it just, to me in the first movie, it didn't seem like Fazbear Entertainment was like around anymore, right? So like, I don't think this shot takes place in modern day. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe in another town or another county or something, the animatronics are still like, the toy animatronics are still popular or something, but like, I just feel like this is a flashback. I really am hinging on that because of everyone being dressed up. That to me is just so peculiar. There are a couple other shots of this throughout the trailer, such as this like little board or like spinny wheel thing. It's probably like a challenge or a prize for a game. But what I found interesting, and I pointed out again in my reaction, was that this has the FNAF 1 character art on it from the first movie, from like all of those like glass stained things they had on the seats and stuff like that. That is interesting to me because that implies the existence, or at least the idea of the quote-unquote classic animatronics, or at least the first movie's animatronics existing at the same time as this fair where the toy animatronics exist, which brings up more questions about the timeline in my head of this movie and when the toys are, because obviously in the games we know the toys are older technically than the FNAF 1 animatronics. Technically, I say technically because technically the FNAF 1 animatronics have been around since 1985 and the toys were 1987, but as most people know, the withered animatronics in 1987 were refitted to become the 1993 FNAF 1 animatronics. I just said so much bullshit right there, dude. This series is so awesome. So it just like brings up questions to me of like, are the toys not before? Did they exist at the same time? And if they do, why was the FNAF 1 movie location closed? And obviously I'm asking this question and we have no answer because the movie's not out yet, but I'm just proposing the question out there. Like, is it possible that both locations have existed at the exact same time? Because we do see later in the trailer, and I didn't notice this when I first played, but the shot of Abby pulling up to the pizzeria, I just thought was the FNAF 1 pizzeria, but if you look in the reflection of the water, which by the way is a cool shot, is the FNAF 2 pizzeria, which means number one, that there is another pizzeria, which I do think we see later in the trailer when Magel snatches somebody. I think this is a new pizzeria, or I guess the FNAF 2 pizzeria, because I don't recognize this background from anywhere, like these lockers in particular. I don't really recognize that from the first movie, and I might be wrong, especially because this place looks collapsed like the first movies did at the end. And I guess BB activating as well is potentially another shot of this new pizzeria. If the other pizzeria is still around, it's closed, definitely, but then why is Toy Freddy in public, right? That's got to be a flashback. Unless it's like a Circus Babies entertainment rental situation where the toys are rented out for like festivals and stuff, but then that wouldn't track to me because then you have people cosplaying like Chica, which would imply that they know Chica's coming type shit. So I don't know. I really don't know. Plus there's another shot, if I can find it, of a young blonde girl at a stand in this like festival, which, there's only two blonde women in this trailer. There's Vanessa, and then there is the blonde woman at the end of the trailer, which I don't know who that is character-wise. If anyone knows, like if that's been announced, maybe tell me in the comments. I don't know. I don't think it has. I actually don't want to get spoiled either, but I don't know who that is or what significance she has. She could just be like the night guard from the first movie who died at the beginning of the movie, and we saw him in the trailer. That could just be the same thing. Maybe she dies early on. Don't know. But this, if I'm right, is also a flashback, and that's probably Vanessa. I'm looking at her, and is that Vanessa's kid actress in the first movie? Hold on, let me check. Nah, it doesn't look like the same girl to me. I mean, it could be. The timeline thing is really interesting to me because I'm very curious about it, because obviously we also get some William Afton stuff in the trailer, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, another thing that we can kind of transition to pretty easily is that the FNAF 2 animatronics are in public. Not counting Toy Freddy, but like Toy Bonnie breaking into some random person's home. If we look at the people here, they are not anyone that we know. Like, this is not Vanessa or Mike. This is not their family, unless again, it's revealed in the movie that this is somehow related to them. But I have a theory that I've exposited a few times on Instagram, which is my main form of social media, by the way. It's my main form of social media. It's linked in the description of every video. Let me follow if you want to. I don't know. There's actually really no reason to follow me, but just do it anyway. I think that this movie is taking notes from the Twisted Ones. I pointed out several times in my Silver Eyes retrospective video I did last year. Jesus, it's already been a year since I did that. In that video, I pointed out a lot of similarities to the movie. The movie did take a lot of notes from that book, I think. Especially the ending is very similar to the first book. And I think conceptually, the toy animatronics are paralleling the Twisted Ones. And I know parallel is like a no-no word in the FNAF community nowadays, but like you get what I'm saying, right? Like they're going around to houses and a high school killing people. Why? Like, why would William do that? And I think if William is still semi-conscious, okay, he, much like the Twisted Ones, is sending them out to find and kill our main trio, just like he sent them to kill Charlie. And on their way to Charlie, the Twisted Ones killed multiple women who look similar to Charlie. So although these people don't look similar to Mike and Vanessa, they could just be going house to house looking for them, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the toys are kind of playing the role similar to the Twisted Ones, as like Toy Chica is in a school, and the only character I could think of that would be in a school would be Abby. So she's looking for Abby. I also think it's just a reference to Ultimate Custom Night. I said that in my reaction as well, which I think is really funny, and I 100% believe that, by the way. We have Toy Freddy like opening a garage, and then we have like Mangle breaking into a window. The animatronics look so good, dude. Mangle looks so good, bro. Let me know like what you guys think about their designs, because I think the designs are even better than the first movie. Because the first movie's designs are very faithful, but they're slightly different. Slightly, mainly Freddy. And I know I'm autistic as shit for noticing this, but like Freddy's head shape is just a little bit different in the movie, but it's enough that I notice it. It's not like it makes it worse, but it is slightly different. Chica and Bonnie are pretty much one-to-one, except for Bonnie I think has a little bit of a different color, and I think he has different colored eyes. And then Foxy has like real shorts in the movie, which I actually like better, to be honest. But I think the toys are like genuinely so accurate, especially Mangle, which is beautiful. We actually see her activate at the beginning of the trailer, which is actually, I guess, a clarification I can make. In my reaction, I accidentally called this an Endo 01, and so I assumed this was like Foxy who was destroyed, but no, this is very clearly an Endo 02, and this would probably be Mangle's second head. I just made an oopsie because I tried to get that trailer out, or that trailer reaction, as fast as possible. There was like a huge weather outbreak in the States, and I got hit pretty hard. There were like 5 tornadoes in my state alone. I think Arkansas had like 20 or some bullshit. Internet went out, but my power stayed on, thankfully. So I got that video out like right in time, because then that storm hit my state, and then there were like 5 fucking tornadoes. So yeah, I'm good, by the way, and I hope everyone else who may have been affected is good as well. Anyway, another thing that I kind of want to talk about that I'm sure many people have also probably thought of too. We see Afton a couple times in this trailer, most of which I think is in the past. The first instance is this. I think this is Afton, but I have no way to prove this. This Showtime button, I think, is a flashback probably to the MCI, because later in the trailer we see Spring Bonnie like pulling out a knife in like a kitchen looking area. Now, a thing I do want to talk about though is Vanessa, because if I'm right, I think Vanessa could actually end up being a really interesting character in these movies. At one point in the trailer, if I can find it myself, sorry, I'm going like frame by fucking frame. Yeah, at another point in the trailer, we can see Afton absolutely aura farming for some reason. I don't know why he's doing this, but I don't think this is a flashback. I think this is a hallucination, especially with the way that the doors are acting. I think Vanessa is going to be going through, like, I'm just going to use PTSD as a placeholder from the mental hold that her father had over her throughout the first movie, and I guess throughout her life, because we know that essentially she was cleaning up for him as a cop at the pizzeria. So I think they might try to explore some of her guilt and some of the mental hold that William has on her, because in the first movie, some people think that like Vanessa's written really inconsistently, because like one second she's like having fun with Michael, and then or Mike, I don't know, I called him Michael like I know him. One thing is she's having fun with Mike, and then the next she's like, if you don't leave, I will shoot you. She's like torn between trying to keep him there for her father and also trying to save him, and especially Abby, throughout the movie. I think that switch that she constantly has is almost intentional. It's like this weird schizophrenic bipolar switch, but I think it's intentional. Yeah, I think that is an interesting thing in the movie that not enough people talk about, but I feel like this movie is going to explore that a little bit, and I think, again, this scene is an example of that. And the only proof I have is a little bit of metagaming, I won't lie, but we did get a set photo a while ago when it started filming of William, or Matthew Lillard, in this exact outfit, standing at the top of the stairs, while we saw Elizabeth Vale's Vanessa at the bottom of the stairs talking to Emma, the director. At least I think that was Emma. And I feel like that's obviously them sharing a scene, and because Vanessa's an adult and has her hair from this movie, I don't think that's a flashback. I think that is this scene, and I think Matthew Lillard, basically William, is going to be haunting her, kind of, maybe not literally, but, you know, in a trauma sort of way. And I think that could be really, really interesting for her character. Like, if we don't get an adaptation of Vanny, which I kind of wish that we did, to be honest. If we end up not getting that, I'm actually okay with that if they handle this well. Like, she could actually be a really compelling character if we let this plotline that I'm making up right now stew a little bit. So let me know what you guys think about that. I think it could be cool if we watch her like guilt and haunting of her father, and then maybe she overcomes it by the third movie by defeating him. Plus, we still have like the OG animatronics. Where are they? I feel like that's a pretty big deal because in the books they did not pass on because William technically didn't pass on either, and they're still around, and they come to the fucking rescue at the end of the Twisted Ones in a really goofy anime fight. I don't think they're gonna do that, but at the same time, I feel like they're still around. Plus, Golden Freddy's character as well, like he's still around, and I feel like they want to do something with that character. And then we obviously have the puppet, which most of us assume is Garrett. I'm also curious about Abby because Abby goes to the FNAF 2 location. How does she know where that is? I'm assuming the spirits told her, but we haven't seen the OG animatronics, which is just why I think that is currently in question. The line where Vanessa pulls up to Mike is also very interesting.
They're out there, Mike.
Where?
Everywhere.
That's so interesting to me because, like, are we talking about the originals or are there more? Like, are the toys haunted in this movie? Because, like, in the games, we've gone back and forth multiple times as a community on whether or not the toys are haunted. And there's also, like, different definitions of haunted. Like, are they haunted directly by a spirit, or is it just the remnant / agony of the original animatronics being used as parts for the toy, you know? And again, this is just a 40-second teaser, and I'm trying to extrapolate a ton of information off of 40 seconds, which means that I'm probably going to basically be making a lot of shit up, okay? Pulling it directly out of my ass. But it's kind of fun to have these discussions, right? Like, I could be completely off base, or I could be right. Who knows? Who knows? I'm pretty confident, to be honest, in my idea of this being kind of parallel to some capacity of the Twisted Ones, because the first movie paralleled a ton of the Silver Eyes. I guess Abby might be the inciting incident where she goes and then toy animatronics maybe activate, and then Mike and Vanessa are drawn into the conflict. Yeah, we didn't see the withered animatronics either. We'll see though, obviously. We'll have all the answers to what I'm talking about. I'm just rambling at this point too, by the way. I doubt you're even still here. I appreciate it if you are, by the way. I am curious, like I said before, what you guys think of the teaser, whether you liked it or not, what your thoughts are, what you think about what I'm saying, and maybe any ideas that you have. I read most of the comments, or at least I try to. Overall, I'm very excited for the movie. Again, I hope you guys are too. In a matter of like 2 months, we'll be playing Secret of the Mimic, and like right after that, we'll be playing Springtrap probably, and Dead by Daylight. So, gonna be a pretty good year, chat. Like the video.